Hi, this is Ann from Design Bundles, and today I'm going to show you how to make a Halloween pumpkin with cute patterns inside in Adobe Illustrator. All right, let's get started. All right, we're here in Adobe Illustrator, and let's go ahead and create a new document. So we'll come over here to Create New. I'll come up here to the top and choose Print, and then Letter, and then we'll come down here and Create. The first thing we'll want to do is create our pumpkin. So to do that, I'm going to hit L on my keyboard, which will bring me to the ellipse tool. And I'm just going to draw a big circle, kind of an oval, right in the middle of my screen. Now, if you hit D on your keyboard, you will also have a white fill and black outline. So if you want to go ahead and do that, sometimes you'll start with some weird colors and everything, but this will help your screen match mine. All right, let's come over here to the stroke. And if you don't see stroke in your palettes, you can come up here to Window, and the stroke is right here. And all of these other palettes are located here too. Okay, let's increase this. I want it pretty thick. This looks nice. Okay, now I'm going to get back on my selection tool. I'm going to click this and then hold Shift and Option, or Shift and Alt on a PC. And what this is doing, Shift keeps it on the same plane, and Option or Alt makes a duplicate. So we're making a duplicate, and I want to put it right about here. And now I'm going to get right on this edge here. I'll hold Option again, and that'll make it resize from both edges. I want it just a little bit smaller. And now we'll send to back with Shift Command left bracket, or Shift Control left bracket on a PC. Okay, now I'm going to copy and paste behind. So that's Command C and Command B, and then Control C and Control B on a PC. And then we'll use Shift and the arrow keys to move it out. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'll pull on this handle up here and hold Option or Alt to get it to be a little bit smaller. All right, and this is looking a little bit wide. So let's select the whole thing and just pull it in a little bit. Okay, I like this much better. And then hit O on our keyboard. O is our reflect tool, and it's right over here. You can probably see your anchor point in kind of bluish green somewhere on your document, but we want it to reflect from the middle of this oval. So to set a new anchor point, we can just Option click, and it'll bring up this reflect dialog box. We want to do a vertical reflect, and we want a copy. And once we hit copy, it'll just automatically do it. So now our pumpkin is almost done. If you select the whole thing though, you can see that these ovals are behind here, and we actually don't want those when we're filling these with patterns. So to get rid of those, hit Shift M. Shift M will take you to the Shape Builder tool. Then we can combine all of these shapes inside this first oval. And to do that, I'm just going to drag through all the shapes, and also those. And now we just have the oval. I'll come over here and I'll also do that and drag all the way across all of these pieces. And now they're one shape. This already looks fine. This one over here also needs to be combined. So now we have 5 shapes. These little half moons, these shapes are no longer ovals. They're just the piece that you can see being highlighted here. All right, now let's make our chevron design. To do this, I'm going to hit P on my keyboard, and that'll bring me to the pen tool right over here. And I'm just going to click once, hold Shift, and click over here. And that'll give me a straight line. Now we'll go to Effect, Distort and Transform, and Zigzag. I'll pull the window over here, and I'm just going to check Preview to see how this looks. Okay, I want the size to be a little bit more than this, so I'll just increase it. And then I think I want more ridges per segment. Maybe not that many. Maybe 6. Okay, we'll say OK. And now I think I want this to be a little bit smaller. Now at this point our line is still a line. We can expand it to get an actual zigzag line. So we'll do that. We'll come up here to Object and Expand Appearance. And now you can see that the path is actually following that line. This is a little too tall for me, so I'm going to click on this handle and just hold Option or Alt and resize it like this. Now I just want to make a lot of copies. I'm going to click and drag and then hold Shift and Option. And then after I've done the first one, I can just hit Command D or Control D on a PC and make a lot of copies. And once we get down here, you can see that we've got a fill on this. So let's just highlight all of these, come over here to the fill and choose none. So now we have a stroke only. I'm going to group this with Command G. I think I want these a little flatter still, so I'm pulling from both sides to get this kind of look. Okay, and this is going to look nice in some of these, I think. Yeah. All right, let's make our other pattern, which I think I'm going to just make stripes for this. So I'll hit M on my keyboard to get to my rectangle tool. I'm just going to click and drag a long, thin rectangle, and I want it to be about the size of this thickness. Now this is a stroke only, so I'm going to switch it to a fill only. This looks just about the right size. I'll hit V on my keyboard and click and drag while holding Shift and Option or Shift and Alt on a PC to make a copy just below it. And then I'll hit Command D and do the same thing that we did with the chevrons. Okay, I'll select all of these and I want these to be at an angle. So I'm going to hit E on my keyboard, which will bring me to the Free Transform tool. I'm going to get right on this halfway down handle until my cursor changes. I'll click and then I'll hold Shift to bring it up like this. And now I'll group this with Command G or Control G on a PC. Now I've got the two patterns. All we need to do now is just make copies of these and then paste them and mask them into the pumpkin. So I'll select this one first. I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to put it right behind this oval, the center oval. And I also want it behind these two. So I'm going to make a copy and put it over here too. And another copy and put it over here. I know this is starting to look a little crazy. So let's just hold Shift and select all three of the chevron patterns, and we'll group these with Command G. Now I'm going to hide them with Command 3. That's Control G and Control 3 on a PC. Let's select the three pieces that we want to mask these into. So I've got this one, and then I'll also select this. And I'm going to copy these, click off, and then paste in front with Command F or Control F on a PC. And now I've got these three shapes right on top of another three shapes. Now, when I'm making a mask, I need Illustrator to see these three shapes as one shape. And to do that, we can make a compound path. So go up to Object, Compound Path, and Make. Now it doesn't change the appearance or anything, but you can see up here that it's a compound path, and now Illustrator says, well, that's one shape. And the reason we had to do that is that when Illustrator works with masks, the mask itself has to be one shape. So now it is. Let's unhide all of the chevron patterns that we made. We'll go to Object and Show All. Now all of those are selected. Now I'm going to hold Shift and click right on the edge of those three that we made into a compound path. And now I'll hit Command 7 to mask them in. That's Control 7 on a PC. All right, we'll do the same thing with these two shapes and this set of stripes. I'm going to select these two, holding Shift. I'll copy, paste in front with Command F or Control F. Then I'm just going to move the stripes up. I'm going to make them a little bit bigger by holding Shift and grabbing a corner. We do need to make our shapes a compound path, so I'm going to select this one, hold Shift, and select the other one. Go to Object, Compound Path, and Make. Now we'll hold Shift and select the stripes. Then we'll hit Command 7 or Control 7 on a PC. I kind of feel like this pumpkin shape is a little too busy now, and I think it's because we have so many chevrons. So I'm going to come in here and delete every other chevron. To do that, I'll get on my Direct Selection tool by hitting A, and then I'll hold Option or Alt, and that'll change it to the Group Selection tool. So now I can just select pieces that are inside there and delete them. You can even hold Shift and select several at a time. All right, this is looking much nicer. Okay, now let's make the top part of the pumpkin, which is the stem and the little sprig. So to do this, I'll hit P on my keyboard to get to my pen tool. I'm just going to click, 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 and drag a little bit, and then get back on that point by clicking on it, and then click and finish the shape. Now we can use our A tool, the direct selection tool, to click on different parts of this and pull it so that it looks a little better. Maybe we can select these 2 points and arrow them down a little bit. They're kind of tall. Okay, next I'll hit my N tool, which is the pencil tool. I'll just start right in here and make a little sprig. I'm going to start over and try again on that. Give it a bigger loop. Okay, and this is looking nice. I'm going to round the edge of this line by coming down here and choosing the center one on the stroke palette for cap and corner. We might make this a little bit smaller. Okay, this is looking great. Now let's get it ready for a cutting machine. So I'm going to delete this. I'm going to select everything now. And I need to expand everything out so that all I have is one black layer. And to do this, I can just come up here to Object, Expand, and I'll choose Fill and Stroke and say OK. I can see that it's expanded these lines, but these lines are still not expanded. So I'm going to do it again, Object, Expand. Now once you get to a certain point, you'll have to come down here and do your Pathfinder. Even though these don't look expanded, if you hit Command Y or Control Y, you'll be able to see all the expanded shapes in there. So let's hit Command Y or Control Y to get back. Now we'll want to come down here to the Pathfinder and choose Divide. You can see all the little pieces now, and that's what we want. So now we can use our Y tool. That is the wand tool. So just hit Y on your keyboard to get to that. I'm going to click off, and then just click on the black area. Come down here to Pathfinder and unite it. And then I'll hide it with Command 3 or Control 3. Now I'll use my A tool, and I'll just draw a big box around everything else and delete it. Then I'll come back to Object, then I'll come up to Object and Show All. So now we have one single shape. I think I'll get in here and just select this and then use my N tool, which is my pencil tool, to just redraw this line. Need to make sure to start and end on the same line for that to work. Okay, by the way, to zoom in and out, you can do Command minus and plus or Control minus and plus. All right, we're ready to save this as an SVG file. So I'll come up here to File, Save As, and then I'm going to choose SVG from the bottom of the list. I'll call it Pumpkin, and I'll choose Use Artboards, and then we'll save it. I usually save as an older version of SVG. That way it works on everyone's machines. They don't have to have the latest and greatest software version for this SVG to work. Okay, and now we'll say OK, and that's it. Now this design is cuttable in almost every cutting machine. All right, if you like this video and you want to see more videos like this, just hit the subscribe button and the little bell next to it, and you'll be notified every time a new video comes out. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.